A fun fact that isn't a fun fact is I had this whole video planned in my notebook and I've left my notebook at home. That sums me up. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm back joining you in my car with a hot chocolate and we're going to talk all things self-development journey today. I'm going to talk through all the things I wish I knew. As I say, I had planned this, like, if you're starting from scratch, here's what I do, but I don't want to film that and miss things out, so I'm going to film that another day, and today's video is going to be things I wish I knew, mindsets I've learned since starting my journey. If you like the sound of this video, then make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and check me out on my other socials. I am so on it with my content at the minute, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, so I would really appreciate if you could go give me a follow. Also, I absolutely adore replying to comments on my YouTube videos, so come say hey. Just open a window a little bit. It's got a bit hot, even though it's literally like winter cold outside. Okay, we're slightly off to a chaotic start because I just filmed the beginning bit of this video, but the light was awful. I don't know, it was just a bit chaotic, so we're just pretending that didn't happen. I'm keeping the intro because I liked the intro, but in terms of my talking points of this video, we're starting fresh. The first point I want to talk about, I want you to see self-development like your physical health, for example. So say if you went to the gym every single day for 2 years and then you didn't go at all for 2 years. You lose all that progress that you had built up. Things with your brain is very similar. You get this muscle memory. Instead of waiting for yourself to hit this rock bottom where you're like, I need to change something in my life because I cannot do this anymore. Instead, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like learn this little bit every day. I'm gonna like watch this podcast once a week. I'm gonna like read this book on the side. Constantly have something going in the background. I feel like from a mental health perspective, it's gonna absolutely appreciate that. I'm someone that's usually like all or nothing. That's something I'm learning about myself, is incorporating balance. When you start your self-development journey, just because you're taking in this information doesn't mean you're understanding it. So you can be consuming all this positive media, you can be reading the right books, listening to the right podcasts, but if you yourself are not on that depth level yet, it's just going to go straight past you and you're not going to understand it. It's like if you were learning a maths equation, like you can't just skip to level 9 and be expected to know how to answer it. You have to learn all the steps up to it in the process, because you're looking at the numbers, you can see the numbers, yes, but you don't know what it means, and that's the way I can best describe it. Watch some videos that are like this for beginners. You're not going to get overwhelmed, you're going to actually understand it more, and then because you're not overwhelmed, you're going to want to understand it on a deeper level, and it just creates this intrigue rather than like this overwhelm and you're like, no, this isn't for me. You've just got to do everything in little steps. I bought a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. I had that book for about 2-3 years. I think I read a chapter of it and was like, this looks like a foreign language to me. I'm not reading that. A few years down the line, I've done so much self-development work. I feel like this resonates with me right now. I want to read this book. And suddenly it all made sense. And I felt like, okay, I can understand this thought pattern. Whereas before I was like, he is literally speaking Spanish for all I know. Saying that, I guess it just goes back to like school and things as well. Like everyone's got their own learning styles. For me, I need to like listen or see. So like a video or an audio book. I know for some people they can just read this really descriptive book and everything makes sense to them. Like I look at that and I'm like, I can't see anything. I completely forgot about my hot chocolate. Also, how cute is this mug? It's like a little sippy cup. When I've previously gone into an intense mode of self-development, it's usually when I feel like I'm close to hitting rock bottom and I'm like, right, okay, let's pick this up. When you're at that stage, your self-talk might already be in quite a negative way. So by making sure you're literally giving it to yourself in bite-sized chunks so that your brain can understand it, you're not overwhelming it, you're not thinking, oh my god, I'm really dumb for not understanding it. Like, give yourself the best chance at actually understanding it. When you start doing this inner work, your life is going to change, and that's okay. I'm someone that quite likes change. I used to think I didn't, but then when I realised that my life is constantly changing and I don't mind that, I was like, oh, actually maybe I do like change. We always see it as a bad thing, but I don't think it is. As I'm learning more and more about myself, I'm attracting things that are more and more aligned with me. So for example, as you do your self-development work, you'll realise that the people in your circle might change, or your career changes, or your lifestyle's slightly different, or the things you like to do changes. It's knowing that that's okay, and don't let other people that aren't on their self-development journey Don't let them tell you otherwise, because people that are insecure about themselves and feel threatened by you bettering yourself are gonna try and like make you feel like you're weird for doing something that's in your best interest. You might get people that don't understand that you're just trying to be the best version of yourself, and it's okay that they don't align with that. Like, things will change and that's okay. It's not holding on to anything, it's not forcing anything to stay that's not meant to be there, and that goes for anything. Friendships, relationships, jobs, items. What is meant for you will not pass you by. If you keep getting in the same situation again and again and again, what do I need to change to get out of this constant loop? I'm actually really enjoying this hot chocolate. Doing self-development work, especially if you're at the beginning, can be quite lonely, because I'm trying to put this into words. When you're at the start of your self-development journey, you haven't necessarily attracted all the people that are going to be your people, because you're not on that wavelength yet. Like, you're not that version of you yet, but you soon will be. But because you haven't attracted your people yet, honestly, I'd rather be alone than in the wrong company. And learning to be happy on your own is the best thing you can ever do for yourself. Learning to be okay spending a night in by yourself, doing some journaling, doing some shadow work, or doing something out of your comfort zone but on your own. This is purely your journey, and you can't be relying on other people for it, because that's just not how it works. It can be scary for people that have never really experienced being on their own. Some people are so scared to be on their own, but that in itself is something you have to work through. When you start this journey, you're slowly going to realise so many things and realise so many habits that you have that are actually holding you back or are harming you in the process. It might be the way you handle confrontation or the way you deal with conflict. This isn't always going to be like a really cutesy, pretty experience. Like, I could lie and say, yeah, get a new pair of PJs and a new notebook and everything's fine. Like, no, it's going to be that you might have to start setting boundaries with people, or start setting rules on yourself, like giving yourself a little bit of tough love. Yes, there is this gorgeous aesthetic side to self-care, but it's not really fixing anything. You might feel relaxed after having a lavender bubble bath, but like, if you're not doing the work to like heal your brain, then what? Do you know what I mean? A bath isn't going to fix any problems. Short term maybe, but long term, what's it going to do? It's not going to teach you anything about yourself. But questioning your thought patterns and like learning how the brain works, learning how you work, is how you're actually going to get there. Being in uncomfortable situations, to get different results, you have to do something different. If you do the same thing again and again and again, you're going to get the same results again and again and again. It needs to be different. For me, I could sit and scroll all day and then wonder, oh, but I'm on TikTok and I'm doing trend research, and like, I'll make a video and it's not doing well. Okay, that's not working. What can you do instead? Oh, okay, I'll get up and I'll get in my car and I'll go and film a video and I'll edit it a different way. Instead of like doom scrolling, I'm gonna listen to a podcast. It's switching it up. It feels uncomfortable. When I was doing my makeup today, I put on Gossip Girl because that's what I'm like binge watching at the minute. But I knew I had a podcast to finish first, and I was like, I really don't want to listen to the end of that podcast, even though I was really enjoying it. I was like, no, I'll just watch Gossip Girl. It's easier. No, it's not. It's just what I'm comfortable doing. And it's the most unproductive thing I can do. I don't need to watch Gossip Girl in the middle of the day. That can be my reward for doing things out of my comfort zone during the day. If you want different results, your actions have to be different. And until you're ready to accept that, nothing is going to change. Nothing at all. If I feel like I need to do some self-development work, I will do either just some brain dumping. I try and do that every single day, just write in my journal. I will do some shadow work. So I either get prompts from Pinterest or I ask ChatGPT and work through something that I feel needs working through. I'll listen to a podcast episode about something. So say yesterday I made a decision to book a flight back out to Bali and go to Australia after going away for about 6 weeks. I was so certain in my decision, and as soon as I booked it, I felt this wave of emotion and anxiety and sadness for some weird reason. And I was like, I need to get out the house. And so I went on a walk and I listened to a podcast. I listened to a podcast about making decisions and why certain people make decisions a certain way, and like our decision making process. Yes, you can just listen. They can so fit through there. Side eye. Yes, you can listen to a self-development podcast, but actually relating it to what you're experiencing in your life. You're dealing with the issue that you're actually having right now. This was the podcast episode I listened to. Was it called Human Code? No, Human Making, Human Coding. human design, that's it. Kind of figured out more about myself, why I make decisions the way I do, and it made me feel a lot better. I'm like, oh, okay, this is just how I am. Like, I'm not broken, I haven't made the wrong decision, it's just how I do it. And instead of beating myself up about it, you just go, okay. Watching YouTube videos has been very insightful for me. I'll put some people on screen now that are people that I love to watch when I feel like, you know what, I'm in the mood to learn something new. I'm currently in my quantum physics era and I'm loving it. These people are kind of tailored more towards that because that's what I enjoy learning at the minute, and like learning about myself in that aspect. What other ways do I do self-development? An easy way to do self-development is questioning yourself, asking yourself why you feel a certain way. Say for example, yesterday I felt uncomfortable and I felt anxious about that decision. It's like, why? The answer you get, questioning it again, so that you actually get to the root of why you feel the way you feel. It's all linked back to an emotion. So much more to it than just like the initial answer you tell yourself. That's a way I like to do some self-development work. Taking a minute and just having a conversation with yourself in your head, or writing it down, whatever you fancy. Throughout your journey, it's all about getting to know yourself and feeling as aligned to yourself as possible. So it'll get to a point where you trust your gut instinct and you trust your feelings on things the most. So if something doesn't feel right to you, listen to that. This whole journey that you're going on isn't because you need fixing, it's not because you're broken, it's not because you need to get better, it's just you becoming who you're actually meant to be, like getting to know yourself on such a level that you're just becoming who you were always meant to be. You're not reinventing yourself, you're not fixing something, like you're just literally coming like home to who you're meant to be. We always think we have to be really hard on ourselves, and that a really healthy life is one that's filled with like discipline. But I think you can still be gentle with yourself. It's just learning when to give yourself tough love and be like, no, come on, you can do this, rather than making up excuses. If you can learn the difference between when to give yourself grace and when to give yourself tough love, you have hit the jackpot. If you're feeling in a sad mood, it's like, okay, can I turn this sad mood into something inspiring, or do I need to just give myself this afternoon to rest? It's knowing deep down, like, are you excusing yourself from putting in the work, or do you actually need a minute? If you actually need a minute, I'm all for it. Give yourself that time to rest. But if you're just making up an excuse and you're just like, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, like, you're never going to do it, and you're always going to make that excuse. Learn to stop making excuses, because at the end of the day, you're only harming yourself. You're not harming anyone else. Like, you're stunting your progress, no one else's. Like, if you want to stay where you are for the rest of your life, then yeah, don't change anything about yourself. But if you want to become the best version of you can, then obviously you're going to have to do some things you don't want to do. It's for the greater good. I guess an easy way of saying it is, you may not always feel like doing what's best for you. Sometimes when you're in your head, like, the last thing you want to do is go outside and have a walk, but that could be the best thing for you. And it's just doing the things that you're like, I don't actually want to do this, but I know I need to do this for myself. And that can apply to any situation, but it's like, yeah, you're not always going to feel like doing it, but that's what's going to make the biggest difference. You can't hate yourself into someone you love. You didn't know any better. You were doing your best with the information you had at the time. Like, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. You're like, okay, I've learned from my mistakes and I'm growing. Like, you can't look back and regret anything. You can't look back and still hold hatred on situations towards you or towards anyone else. If you've learned something, then there is at least some small slither of positivity to it. I know sometimes, like, when you're in the depths of like suffering in your mental health, like, it's so hard to see the positives. Realizing, okay, if I've learned anything and if this has led to even a slightly better version of myself, then it must be a little bit worth it. Since being in this stage of my self-development journey, which has been going on the past month, I'd say, it's really baffled me, because I used to be someone that always waited until the first of the month, or a Monday, or New Year's Day, or the start of a new season. Like, I'd always feel like I needed the validation of the start of a certain time period to be like, oh, this symbolizes the start of a new me. But like, true inner work doesn't just happen on a Monday. Like, I've actually let go of that expectation, and it's so random, because I was always that person that's like, oh yeah, I'll wait, because it's like, you're always going to be waiting. You owe it to yourself to put the time in to actually become the person you want to become. My next goal is to get into meditation more, because it's something I've not really dived into too much. But I'm keen to do it because I feel like I've got a really good feeling that I'm going to get along really well with it. I just keep making up excuses. So it's something that we work on all the time. But if you're able to like catch yourself as you're making an excuse, then you know you're making progress. These are some of the things that I've realised whilst being in my many phases of my self-development journey. But from now on, I'm going to do little bits every single day, do the things that make me uncomfortable and feel the uncomfortable emotions. I'm going to trust my gut, because I'm in a stage where I feel really aligned with myself and I trust myself. I trust that I know myself to make the right decisions. I also believe there's no right decision, just a decision and lessons. If you've learned anything since starting your self-development journey, then make sure to let me know in the comments, because we're all constantly learning, evolving, changing, trying to basically become our best self, is living their dream life. Like, we're all trying our best. Okay, so if you've got any tips and tricks, make sure to let me know. Hopefully in my next video I'm not going to sound like a croaky frog and that my voice will actually be back. In my next YouTube video I'll actually probably be in Bali, so I need to figure out whether I'm going to film another video in my car or switch it up a bit, so that my YouTube content isn't just all in my car. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow me on my other socials if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!